Welcome to Fox Cricket's coverage of the inaugural Big Bash draft.
Star batter Alex Hales returns to the Thunder with pick 6.
Patu firing on all cylinders.
There was a chance for a right to match for the Sydney Thunder with the Sam Billings, but they chose not to.
Coach, so first draft as general manager, how are you feeling about the WBBL draft?
I'm actually feeling really excited. This is the stuff that I live and breathe. American sports, the draft and asset management, trading picks, trading players. This is the sort of stuff that I live and breathe for. And to be honest, I'm excited because the Thunder WBBL is in such a good place. Our list is really strong. The vibes around the place are great. And largely I want to just continue on the work that was done last year in making the finals, and really exciting brand of cricket, a lot of exciting young players.
Oh, she goes again. Magnificent stuff from Litchfield.
Explain to us the process that goes into planning for a draft, and, from identifying, needs that a team might have, and then, what gaps have you got in contracting, salary cap, all those sorts of things.
How long do you have? Because we could go for hours on the stuff that is happening behind the scenes. So we've got a cap sheet which runs a depth charting process on top order batters, middle order batters, wicket keepers, spin bowlers, left and right hand, skills matrix stuff. And then we're looking 2-3 years down the track on a cap management, how much players are getting paid, who's going to go up in salary, and what does that mean for the bottom of the list. When it comes to the draft, we're just looking, how can I give myself the cap space to go nuts on an overseas signing as a pre-draft, but then still being able to get a platinum draft pick. And what are our greatest needs? That's the other thing. When I've put all of that skills matrix together with Lisa Kiley, the coach, and Leah Poulton, Maxi Klinger, what are we actually needing most out of the draft? So it's best player available, first port of call. And then after that, we're going with what does our team actually need the most? Then you throw into the mix, there's a nominations portal. So we're building off the basis of our needs, we're then building a spreadsheet with our analytics team, spitting out, complementing the needs with the players that are available, who's the best match, and then it gives us a depth chart of how we're going to go into the draft. There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, sounds like it. Now, that analytics stuff is obviously very important, but what about the sort of other sides of who you're looking for? What sort of person?
Yeah, happy to speak really openly about this because I think we've got a really great core nucleus of players, but there's also some clear and obvious standouts on performance reviews from last year, gaps in what our performance was, skill sets that we need, and then looking forward, one really clear, obvious target in the draft is leadership. So it's not just about who the best player is. It's also what do they bring to the table. Heather Knight was a great example and spoken so highly about last year. Such great captaincy and leadership off field, being in a team environment and bringing on the likes of Phoebe, Hannah Darlington in that respect. So that's very much front of mind. It's not just how far do they hit it, how fast do they bowl. It's also who are they as people.
You talked about Heather Knight. She's been at the Thunder a couple of times. Last year, the revelation of the whole tournament was Chamari Adapadu.
Yes.
You look at someone like Chamari, you look at someone like Heather. Is that come into it as well, past players?
Absolutely. And fan affinity and building a continuity for members to understand who we are as a club. What are we as a team? How do we identify to our fans the game style? But yeah, I mean, Chamari was player of the tournament. What an absolute masterstroke from the club last year to bring her in. Unbelievable she went undrafted. So we're going to be doing everything the weekend to make sure that's locked away. And then outside of that, yeah, the girls speak so highly of Heather. My personal interactions from broadcast with her have been fantastic, and she's also a bloody great cricketer.
Fantastic. And just getting back to the planning and so forth, do you deal, as a GM, are you dealing directly with players or their managers, or, would a player be sitting at home knowing the Sydney Thunder like me?
Yes, absolutely. So I would say it's a combination of both. So we'd be talking, the WBBL is a very small market in terms of the amount of agents that cover the sort of breadth of the player market, particularly the elite players. So when we're talking the top end of the draft, we've got a really good, strong footprint on knowing personal relationships, who's going to be here. This year, there's actually a crowded international window through the WBBL. So is a player going to be fully available versus 7 games or 3 games? And what does that mean for our pecking order? That's an ongoing conversation where I'm sort of framing up my day doing the rest of business stuff during business hours. And then on the way to work or on the way home in the car, I'm ringing agents from the UK, in India, New Zealand, South Africa, trying to cross over on those time zones. So it's a balancing act, but I think proactivity is key. Speaking openly and transparently, it's the kind of guy I am anyway. I'm a straight shooter. So I think just letting the players know there's an interest there. Are they keen to come? And then we can build out our plans from there.
Just one last question. You got a player in mind, you're really pumped for them, and the club before you picks them. What happens next?
I'll be getting on the phone, or in this context, we're probably in the same room, and I'll be saying, is there scope for you to trade that player to us? And what can we give you as an asset to, say, from pick 2 to pick 3? What can I give you to move that one spot and give us that player? Not dissimilar to the retention rights sort of framework, but I'm not just going to be sitting on my hands saying, oh, well, too bad. But in the event that can't happen, we'll obviously have a depth chart of priority list that will be well sorted.
Sometimes there is 3 or 4 players that are pretty evenly matched, and you're not losing out when you get the second on that list.
Absolutely. And that's what our work from now, you asked about the process, like we're going to be building out 8 scenarios for our first round pick. Then we'll build out 8 scenarios for our second round pick on the basis of all of those 8 scenarios from the first round. That's the level of detail we'll be going into. And then some of it is gut feel. In the moment, what are you thinking is best? And leaning on Lisa, obviously, for what she wants as a coach and the whole framework of the team.